Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I believe firmly that it makes a lot of sense to be really stubborn with XRP. I firmly believe that XRP will hit a new all-time high eventually. I believe it will enter price discovery and absolutely melt faces. I don't pretend to know when that's going to be. This has been my belief since, well, pretty much the beginning, because even after the bubble popped, and it was pretty clear it had popped in early 2018, and XRP was trending back down, I said to myself at the time, XRP at some unknown point in the future will hit a new all-time high, and it will do just what I said. I firmly believe that. It moves in tandem with the rest of the market. The market's just getting bigger. And yes, it's been delayed because of the SEC, but for me, that's why it just makes sense to be stubborn with my XRP. And look, we've never been closer to this happening before. And I want to share with you some of my mindset in this video. And I apply it, so I certainly applied it to XRP. I've applied it to other coins. And I think what I'm about to share with you, like, it rings true regardless of what coin you're talking about. If you have conviction about the coin, this is the right path in terms of behavior. So this isn't me telling you specifically, something unique about a coin necessarily. I mean, yes, it's how I treat my XRP. It's not that you should buy this, shouldn't buy that. There's a lot of other things to consider, but this is a key component. I think that, I know actually there's data on this. Almost nobody behaves the way that I do when it comes to investing. But it's just, even if you look at how people invest in equities, data shows the people that just don't do anything, they don't touch stuff, they're the ones that make money. And I firmly believe that concept bleeds over into crypto. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so I've said before, and this was not the most fun. Like, I was having fun in crypto regardless, but it wasn't the most fun. This is more fun now, clearly. But for the first roughly 3 years, I was most of the time down on my investment in XRP, sometimes down substantially, yet I still slept easy. Because again, I understand that there's extreme volatility, and the fact that people do have trouble. Yes, absolutely. If this were easy, emotionally for people generally speaking, then everybody would have a Lambo on the moon right now. That's not how this works. It takes true resiliency, It takes real conviction. And I've got that, and I'm sure that a ton of you out there listening feel the same way. But we're human, and so some people are gonna not always feel like that, and I understand that too. But that's why I'm sharing this particular video with you, because we are entering this period of crucial importance where there's going to be an opportunity for life-changing wealth. I firmly believe we're in bull mode here, right? And it can still be botched by people if emotions get to people. That's what I'm getting at here. So that's why it's not me telling you to get in and out of any specific position. I'm just sharing the way that I conceptually look at this stuff, because it works for me. That's why. And I think it's fun to talk about this stuff, and it's important to talk about this stuff. And so I've been down on a lot of the coins that I've had for the last, coins that I took new positions in over the last, say, 2 or 3 years. Until recently, I was down on almost all of them for almost the whole time. So like HBAR, I've been holding HBAR. It'll be almost 3 years at this point. And that's currently my third largest holding. I've been down on that for the vast majority, like almost the entire time that I've been holding. Does that mean that that HBAR is a bad investment? No. Just like the fact that I was down on XRP for most of the first 3 years that I was holding it, did that mean that it was a bad investment? No. That in and of itself doesn't. It was at a lower level then. So now we've reached a new plateau. I don't know if we'll ever see 25-cent XRP again. I mean, I guess technically never say never, but it seems less likely now, certainly. We're trading at a different level. We're entering this bull market with XRP pushing 70 cents, like I mentioned in my last video. Like, we haven't seen that before. But also with Flare, for example, I've been holding. Well, Flare was launched at the beginning of the year. That thing's just been heading downward nonstop until very recently. But now it's not, and so I've been down on that too. And I shared this recently, but it's I want to make sure that this, like, I'm sharing this sufficiently. I mentioned that once in another video. I'll just be brief with this here. But there is a post from the Flare community account on social media platform X saying, wow, sentiment's down, that type of sentiment. And so I responded, yep. And I wrote that as a result, I'm thinking about buying more Flare today. Sentiment is dismal. And it was absolutely dismal. People were saying that's a crap coin. It's never going to do anything. It's going to zero, all that crap. And so I said, I'm probably going to buy more. And then a little bit later in the day, when I had time, I did. And so I also wrote, If anything, the utility and future prospects for Flare have never been better, though the price has never been lower. And by the way, that was literally true at that point. That was the low point that day, October 19th, when I purchased it. Then I wrote, I bought more Flare this morning, increased my total holdings by about 45%, and wrapped it immediately. And folks, this is the same story with my XRP. It's the exact same thing. I was down, people told me it was going to zero, all the haters, even some holders losing confidence that they made the right decision, this or that. And XRP, I mean, the lowest I ever held it was 10 or 11 cents during March 2020 crash. And then it obviously blasted off after that to over $2. And now it's close to 70 cents. It's like, you can't look at short-term price action and make a determination that in and of itself, just because that happened, that it's somehow some sort of failure. That's just nonsense. And so the same thing here, again, true with HBAR here. There's this post from XRP community member Frecky on October 27th this year. And he wrote, bearish hopium in crypto is going to create a lot of copium soon. As I said, all bear market, this is why we dollar cost averaged and positioned before big moves. And he tagged me in that. And yeah, absolutely, that's what I did when there were opportunities. I made purchases. And on October 28th, I wrote the following. I'm ready for it. I'm particularly looking forward to alts eventually taking off. I recently increased my HBAR holdings by 11%, my Flare by 45%, and I also bought VeChain for the first time ever a couple days ago. I know many XRP holders have been into VeChain for years. My bags have been packed for so long, but time passes, and I make more money, and I have to put it somewhere, so I buy more crypto. So that's what I wrote, and that's the case. And so now, I wanted to mention this. For the first time, and I couldn't even tell you how long, I've been in the green in my HBAR now at the time. Yeah, so I'm up. My average price for HBAR, it's a little under 7.5 cents. It's 7.4 something cents, and right now it's almost 7.6 cents, and it was as high as 7.7 cents within the last 24 hours. So I looked at that, and I was down dramatically, and I put real money into this thing, and now it is moving to the upside. And if it goes back below again, I'm not going to give a damn. I've already been through this for years. Because the bottom line is either I'm right that these things are going to take off or I'm wrong. And I understand that the volatility in between, in and of itself, is not an indication of whether or not my supposition at its core is right or wrong. That's why I'm sharing this video. So as you see the volatility, just remember that in and of itself, that alone does not necessarily indicate something. Unless it's a Luna type of situation, because there are coins that ultimately, go to zero, although even that recently has had a revival. But that was like an over 99%. I mean, you guys know the whole story. I don't need to get into it with you. But there are instances, and there are rug pulls or stuff like that. But I'm saying outside of those types of things, yeah. And so I won't be surprised if, especially if HBAR runs first, this could be my number one holding. XRP is right now by a lot. Bitcoin's number two for me. I think that, I can see, I know what the dollar values are. My HBAR is probably going to take that number two spot soon. But if it runs before XRP, I'll not be surprised if it takes the number one spot. And then I'll sell it, and then XRP will be number one again. And then when that goes, I'll sell XRP. And we'll see what order it happens in. But this is conceptually what I'm looking at here. And so all that to say, if you're concerned about XRP in the short term, why? None of it, the price action in the short term in and of itself is not an indicator of whether or not you're right or wrong. It's behaving like you should expect it to behave. That's why I wanted to highlight this here. And look at this. This is right after FTX collapsed. I posted this on social media platform X. November 9th, 2022, over a year ago. My net worth has taken a massive hit due to crypto prices plummeting. As a result, I am no longer Moon Lambo. I am Moon Family Sedan. Wish me luck. And so that was the day that I switched to Moon Family Sedan, and I was for something like 8 months, right? Until we got legal clarity for XRP. And now it's greener pastures now. Everything's fantastic. And then I separately wrote, and this is the same day, everyone in crypto has been harmed by the FTX situation, but it has also created opportunity, and I'm taking massive advantage of it. Just bought a bunch of Filecoin for $4.17, HBAR at 4.4 cents, and Algorand at 27 cents. These are the lowest prices I've ever paid for these coins. And so Filecoin's now up over $5, I think at the time of recording, it's maybe $5.50 or something. HBAR buying that at 4.4 cents. It ultimately ran to I think 7 or 8 or 9 cents early this year, but then it cratered back down. And when it cratered back down, I was in the red again, and then I recently bought more. I bought more October 18th at 4.9 or 5 cents, somewhere around there. And then it's moved up. And then Algorand, when I bought that a year ago, 27 cents, that wasn't all. I mean, it was cheaper at the time for sure, so I was excited for that. It went even lower. And I was able to buy, I can't remember when maybe over a month ago, I can't remember exactly. But I bought more. It was down at like 11 cents is where I nailed it. And at the time I'm recording this, I think it's like 20 or 22 cents. So the point is, the price action, it doesn't, you should expect that. This is a known quantity. You should expect it to do this. So when it does go down, it makes no sense to have the fear. And so I don't have fear because it's not logical to have the fear. I refuse to have some stupid emotion where there's no underlying logical connection where it would be reasonable to have that emotion. I'm just not going to do it. So I bought more, and now it's up. And I made a pretty freaking big, like I substantially increased my Algorand holdings. Substantially. And now I'm up on the whole. So like I've been down on Algorand for most of the time I've held it. I've been down on Filecoin for most of the time that I held it. And I think I'm still a little down on Filecoin. But I'm up on HBAR, I'm up on Flare, I'm up on Algo, and almost everything else that I hold. And my XRP, again, it's the same way I treated XRP. And this is how you win long term. This is what I believe. You buy stuff and you wait. Even if it's through multiple cycles, that's what I do. Most people aren't willing to do it. They don't have the patience, and then they'll FOMO in and they'll panic sell. I don't. I refuse to behave like that. So I just wanted to share that message, but we really are there. And so that's why I said at the outset, just be stubborn with your XRP. That's not me telling you to buy or sell or hold because I don't know your position and I wouldn't want that personal responsibility, but that's what I think conceptually makes sense. To be stubborn about this. Unless, so like for me, unless something changes on a fundamental level, I'm holding. Period. That is it. We've never been closer, folks. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.